morning, I am Dr. P. N. Agarwal. Today we are going to talk about parotid gland. As we have already seen the patient, this was having a parotid swelling for last 1 year, which is slowly increasing in size, and patient was not having any problem. On clinical examination, there was 3 centimeter size swelling, which was there in the right parotid region. No involvement of the facial nerve, no intraoral finding suggestive of deep lobe enlargement, and there were no lymph node in the neck. So on clinical examination, most likely it was a benign parotid swelling, likely to be pleomorphic adenoma. As you know that majority of the parotid gland tumor, they are benign, 80% of them, and only 20% are malignant. By and large, benign swelling does not cause facial nerve involvement, but not necessary that all the malignant swelling will cause facial nerve involvement, not necessary. So our aim is now, on clinical it was all right, so what should you be doing for confirmation of the diagnosis? So before that is a little bit of anatomy. As you all know, line the recess bounded by the ramus of mandible, base of skull and mastoid, lies over the carotid sheath in relation to 11th and 12th cranial nerve, and it enclosed in a deep cervical fascia. So this is what is the anatomy, if you can see, all right. That is what you should be. Sometimes there is a accessory lobe. You can see this is a parotid duct, all right. This is masseter, this is the masseter muscle, all right, and this is the whole of the parotid gland, which you can see, all right. This is sternocleidomastoid, and inferiorly it is in relation to the digastric muscle. All right, so this is what is the parotid gland, and salivary secretion through the Stenson duct as second upper molar, I have already said. What are the important structure? Facial nerve. There are no two anatomical lobes of the parotid, you must remember. It is only that facial nerve is passing, so that divides arbitrarily that it is deep lobe and it is the superficial lobe. And there are retromandibular vein and of course lymph node. Parotid surgery, why it is important? Because of the facial nerve. Otherwise, there is not usually much problem when you are doing surgery. However, a facial nerve, or it's one of the branches divided except buccal branch, patient have a significant cosmetic deformity, physiological problem, and maybe a very sort of case for litigation unless you have explained it to the patient, because this morbidity and facial expression is deformity is phenomenal. So I have already said that superficial and deep lobe, 80% of the part is deep lobe, otherwise 20% is deep lobe, 80% is superficial, and sometimes there is an accessory lobe which lies above the masseter muscle. Inflammatory disorder, I have already talked, MUS is the most common cause of acute painful parotid swelling, usually affects the children. You start with a prodromal period of 1 to 2 days, during which patient may have fever, nausea and headache, and followed by painful swelling or one or both sides of the parotid. All right, the complication, one of the most important complication of this is orchitis or oophorytis. Sometimes there is a viral pancreatitis also, and sensory neural deafness. Treatment is symptomatic with paracetamol and adequate fluid intake, and majority of the time patient usually get all right within 7 to 10 days. But when patient comes, you must examine for testicular examination has to be done. Bacterial infection, as we are talking when we are seeing the patient, usually dehydrated patient, elderly who has undergone surgical procedure, because there is a reduced salivary secretion. Dehydration results in the ascending infection from the oral cavity through the parotid duct. Organisms are usually staphylococcus or streptococcus, and treatment is intravenous antibiotics and adequate fluid. This is another thing, there is a recurrent parotitis of childhood. Right? It is a distinct entity with not a definitive etiology for that, and the characteristic presentation is swelling or one of both parotid glands, and symptoms they are made worse by when patient chews or eating. Diagnosis is on the history that any swelling in the parotid or any salivary gland during meal time means we are dealing with parotitis. Reason may be stone, may be stricture, Parotitis because there is increased salivary secretion which cannot be drained into the oral cavity, and patient develops swelling, and when after 2 to 3 hours swelling subside, whether it is submandibular or parotid. Treatment nowadays, you must be that endoscopic washout and low course of antibiotic, that is what is required for these patients, and no surgical intervention. A stone, benign condition, I have already said that more common in submandibular 80%, only 20% occurs in parotid, and parotid they are usually radiolucent, not visible on X-ray. However, there is a again recurrent attack of swelling during chewing and enlargement of the swelling. This denotes that probably we are dealing with the salivary calculus. A small stone, they can be less than 4 millimeter, can be by basket. Larger stone, lithotripsy. Now the endoscope is available which of this diameter, you can break them with pneumatic lithotripter, and when they are fragmented you can sort of wash out with them with the Dormia basket. And if there is a stricture of the duct, it responds to endoscopic washout and dilatation and sometimes steroid solution. Now the tumor, which is very worrisome feature, most common site for salivary tumor, parotid, all right, and they are usually arise in the superficial lobe, slow growing, painless swelling, typically occurs in the parotid region. I have already said that sometimes they are anterior to the tragus or ear lobule is lifted. So typically in the parotid region, any swelling is there until proved otherwise, it is parotid gland tumor rather than anything else. Only it can be confused with another thing I have already said as a parotid lymph node. Clinically you cannot differentiate, for that some investigation will be required. So once you have diagnosed and facial nerve is intact, benign until proved otherwise, facial nerve is involved, malignant tumor. Benign tumor does not involve facial nerve.